Yeah, guys, good evening. What we have right now is a very active barricade situation on our hands. We're at the intersection of Crenshaw and Jefferson. Let me step out and give you a live look at what we're seeing right here. This is the Burger King in question, and what we're being told is a carjacking suspect may be inside armed with a firearm. About 20 minutes ago, we were telling you how those flames were moving down the hill. Look how much closer they're getting right here. These winds are pushing them down and down and down, and we are now right up against the fence of this cul-de-sac right here. We have one unit here set up to defend this house. Yeah, Tucker, good evening. What we know is very limited so far, but what I can tell you is that earlier this afternoon, our newsroom got some phone calls from employees here at this postal facility telling us they were being evacuated because of a suspicious package that was found here that was addressed to Maxine Waters. What's next for all those popular electric scooters that really just seem to be all over the place? They've been at the center of heated debate in a number of local communities, some of which have already decided to ban them. And now it's LA's turn to decide what to do. Mario Ramirez joining us live in downtown LA this morning, where City Council will be deciding on some new regulations. Mario, good morning to you. Just think about this, guys. It must be a sign of the times, because one of the victims of the shooting, one of the people who passed away here at the bar last night, he survived the Las Vegas shooting just a little over a year ago. What are the odds that you'd be in 2 mass shootings within a little over 1 year of your lifetime? Just something to think about. Wow. Hi, Marla. Good evening. Those protesters have been streaming into this park here in Beverly Hills for the past 45 minutes or so, and their message here is that Donald Trump is not welcome here in California. Let me give you a live look at the scene right here. By our estimates, probably a couple hundred people right here. We apologize for any profanity or signs you might be seeing. Do you remember us, Gustavo? Do you remember all the lies you gave us last time? How many times are we going to do this? Why do you keep selling sick dogs, man? Gustavo, come on, man. How many times are we going to have to do this? All your lies, all your fake names?
Lies?
Yeah.
No.
Did you not tell him your name's Michael? We talked to a lot of people out here at LAX tonight, and one thing is clear. This hurricane is throwing a wrench into a lot of travel plans out there. Guys, I want to show you something really quick while we have the sun up and while we have a clear view of it. Let me step out of the way. That's up there. That's the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay. You can see where that window was blown out with the hammer. That's where the suspect, the shooter, was up there with those automatic rifles, raining hell down on those 22,000 people who are just trying to enjoy an evening at the concert. Yeah, guys, good evening. Day number 6 of the Thomas fire, and these flames just do not show any sign of letting up tonight. Let me step out of the way and show you what our vantage point is tonight. As you guys mentioned, we're in the city of Miramonte tonight. We're right off the 33 and Highway 150, and take a look at that ridge line over there. LA County Sheriff's Department confirming this is a homicide investigation, so that means something nefarious happened here at this park a little bit earlier this morning. Well, Dan and Christine, let me tell you right now, we are on PCH right near K Nun Dune. That's the closest cross street. And it is hell on earth out here, guys. I've never seen anything like this before here in the Malibu area, and I'm a SoCal native. Take a look at just how many homes are burning here. Not 1, not 2, not 3, more than 6 in this general area, and they are all total losses. Not enough money and plenty of problems. After being kicked out of a riverbed, then a courthouse, now a motel, homeless people are meeting with a judge today to figure out where they're going to live next. Laura, Christine, good evening. The U.S. Coast Guard, with the help of the U.S. Army as well as other really good Samaritans out here, they confirmed to me they were able to rescue more than 200 people who were stranded out here at a subdivision down the street. Let me show you what we're looking at here. This is one of the most flooded streets in all of Northeast Houston, a good 4 to 5 feet of water at its peak. At the end of the street, there's a community down there. Hundreds of people were stranded without any power. And Josh's friends and family tell me he was last seen here at his apartment building this past Sunday. And as you can see right here, they've now put missing posters showing his face in the hopes that somebody out there will maybe recognize him. They're worried sick because, as you mentioned, his final phone call was a 911 hang-up. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you the best of luck. So, very frustrating out here, guys. People as far back as we can see. A lot of people actually trying to turn around now and go back the way they came, back through those deeper floodwaters. If you don't have a high profile with your vehicle, definitely not going to want to try to get through here. My name is Bill Melugin. I'm a reporter with Fox 11. Do you guys have anybody in charge we could talk to real quick? You know everything you're doing is illegal here, right? Well, Dan and Christina, I can tell you firefighters have made an extremely aggressive attack on the flames here off of High Ridge Drive. This is under mandatory evacuation, and they've done an absolutely incredible job. Take a look at the hillside behind us. This was all active flame a little over an hour ago, and now, thankfully, all we're seeing is some smoldering, some white smoke. Yeah, guys, good evening. As you mentioned, a lot of concern about this natural gas smell, which was reported here in Venice, up the way in Santa Monica, even as far in as West LA. And just a short time ago, LAFD confirming the source of that smell was methane gas coming off of the Pacific Ocean here. Now, if you're wondering how that's possible, it's actually fairly common. There's different reasons for it. Many of the firefighters here have left the scene, but it's very likely they are not going to forget what they saw here tonight anytime soon. LAFD telling us their firefighters had a very difficult time processing this scene because there are children involved. And this story got a whole lot of attention when we first aired it last month. Believe it or not, it got over 4 million views on our Fox 11 Facebook page alone. And now we have got the arrest warrants. We can confirm that the owners of Old School, both Alex and Farhad Ashagian, have both been taken into custody just a short time after our story aired. Well, Dan and Christine, what I can tell you is the air attack here in Malibu Canyon tonight has been absolutely relentless. Every 15 minutes or so, we've been seeing these nighttime water-dropping helicopters targeting this hillside behind us. And 2 men are in critical condition tonight after a violent car accident that left one vehicle literally split in half. The accident happened around 11:15 last night. You could feel the energy and the optimism just get sucked out of this room a short time ago when John Cox stepped up to that podium behind us and conceded this race for governor to Gavin Newsom. For Republicans in this state who are hoping for less taxes and lower regulations, John Cox was their guy, and it's not going to work out tonight. Were you doing it personally?
No.
You weren't? You weren't here?
Yeah.
If I were to show you a video, would your answer change, sir? We'd love to talk to you just for a couple minutes. Christine, unfortunately, that spot fire we saw earlier was not a spot fire. It's a home on fire. There's this rolling ridge and Ridgewood here in Agora Hills, and you can take a look. Firefighters are trying everything they can to stop this home from being a total loss, but unfortunately, it looks like it's all gonna go. Dan, good evening. Let me tell you, I've covered a lot of fallen trees in my career. I think this is one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. Let me give you a look. This is the 3900 block of Dixie Canyon Avenue in Sherman Oaks. Take a look at the size of this tree, just the base itself, ripping all of those roots off the ground. You can see just how thick that trunk is, how big it is, and take a look at the damage it caused to the corner of this house right. Dan and Christine, good evening. This is the 1200 block of Clark Street here in West Hollywood. This call went out at 8:30 tonight, and thankfully it was a very quick response from the LA County Fire Department. They were able to knock this down in just a matter of minutes. Tell me why you guys are being accused of selling fake merchandise. Why are you guys ripping people off?
It means nothing with no solution.
You're being accused of ripping
nothing
people
without
off.
a solution.
Why? We're trying to give you guys a chance to respond.
White brother.
Yeah, guys, good evening. This one's called the Thomas Fire, and it is an absolute beast. More than 50,000 acres have burned so far. More than 150 homes have burned to the ground, one of which is right here in front of us. Take a look right here. Just a heartbreaking scene. More than 10 homes burned down just on the street that we're standing. Just the skeletal remains here still burning. And I don't think you guys can hear it, but there's still some natural gas hissing out from the pipes in this home. And guys, this was a very, very big protest. We are talking thousands of people going through the streets of downtown LA. They started over at MacArthur Park, and they ended up right here at the federal detention facility. And these protesters are absolutely furious about the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy. They say it's just inhumane and barbaric to separate these kids from their families when they're caught at the U.S. border. Well, Dan and Christine, there actually hasn't been a decision yet because this meeting is still going on behind us as we speak. We're pushing 4 hours now. The reason why it's taking so long is so many people sign up for public comment. The sanctuary state debate is so controversial. So many people want to talk about it. Yeah, guys, people have been showing up here pretty much all day long trying to pay their respects to this fallen officer. And it's just so tragic, so tragic. He's leaving behind a wife and 2 young children. He just graduated from the academy last year. He was finishing up his training, and then this happens last night. The reason why we're here and the reason why there's fire trucks behind us is, unfortunately, firefighters are telling us a home just down the street did catch on fire this evening, and they are still trying to mop it up. We've seen the chopper coming through here, still dumping water. Christine, this is yet another case of not in my backyard. Just like what we've seen with these other Orange County cities, a lot of people showed up tonight. People who live here in Costa Mesa, they came to the City Hall chambers in big numbers to voice their opposition to this proposal. Gigi, good evening. Very easy to see why there's a red flag warning. It's very difficult to hear you guys. It is extremely windy and gusty out here in the hills above Montecito. You can maybe see my jacket flying around. Let me show you what we're seeing from up here. A couple of spot fires, but the residents out here are telling me today they heard something very different. They're describing hearing that helicopter and just this awful sound of a clunking metallic sputtering of the engine, and unfortunately that helicopter would end up plunging out of the sky and landing at a house at the end of the street right right here, killing 3 people on board. And the wild thing about this car-to-car shooting is it happened right in the middle of broad daylight, smack dab during the busy rush hour around 4:30 this afternoon. And take a look at the active scene behind us almost 6 hours later, and it is still completely shut down. You take one look at that video and it really just makes you shake your head when you realize how that guy was treated in a serious time of need. It all happened right here at the Wardlow station behind us last night here in Long Beach. This is the Metro Blue Line.